Hi, Gals with No Diet. Last week, I had the pleasure of interviewing Sarah, one of our own members, about eating disorders and diets being a gateway to eating disorders. I learned a ton, and I hope you will too. So let's warmly welcome Sarah and thank her so much for doing this.
I just want to say thank you for having me as well. And it's important for me to take the stigma out of eating disorders because, there's a lot of shame and guilt built around it. And I don't feel any of those things now because I know it's part of who I am. And it's just, we all have our demons that we fight in our head. And, I haven't won this battle yet. So I'm excited to share my experience and like my feelings. And I think it's going to help me heal too.
Fantastic. Well, I'm glad we can be part of that as well. And that will be really interesting too, to have like an ongoing maybe update when you want to come back and talk about where you are in your journey further down the road as well. So
absolutely.
Great. Okay. Well, I know everyone is curious to hear a little bit about just you and your life. So go for it.
So I live in Massachusetts. I've lived here my whole life. I grew up in Hopkinton, where the start of the marathon was. I got married fairly young. I was 23, and I had my daughter the same year. And then my second daughter I had 2008. I was 26. I was in that marriage for 11 years. I can't say it was all miserable, but there was a lot of struggles. We didn't have much. We were so young. We had a baby at 23, the second one at 26. My ex-husband at the time was in college. We were living in his mother's basement. So it wasn't ideal. It was a lot of stress. And prior to that, I had battled with an eating disorder as well. Sorry, I'm kind of like skipping ahead in the questions.
It's okay. Just go for it.
Let me just finish this. So I was with him for 15 years, ended my marriage election day 4 years ago, day I'll never forget. And then I kind of did the single mom thing, figured out my life, sold my house. And then I met a really great guy, and we got married this past May, and we're trying to build our life together now. So I get a second chance, which is really nice. So yeah, I guess that's me right now.
Okay. And, when you and I spoke before, as I said, I learned a lot. And one thing I didn't ask at that point was, many people say, and I support this, is that dieting is a gateway to all eating disorders. Would you agree with that? And how do you feel that did dieting affect your eating disorder?
Well, what really makes me sad looking back now, because I have two daughters. My oldest one will be 15 and my youngest one is 12. And I was doing Weight Watchers age 14, 15. And I didn't weigh that much. I mean, right. I probably weighed 15 pounds more than I do now. It's not like I was severely obese and I needed to do something for health reasons. And I remember going with my mom, doing it with my dad. I made lifetime, membership. So diets for me started really young. I remember being in 9th grade and doing the Atkins diet and losing like 6 pounds in a week. And I did it with my mother. And I just always remember there being diets in my life. And having two daughters, I never talk. I made it a point to never look in the mirror and be like, oh my God, I'm so fat, or, oh, I'm having a really bad day, I feel so chubby. Or that was like really my goal as a mother, because my mom did that. And I think that affected me too. And then it kind of started the diet thing. And I've been struggling my whole life. I pretty much could be a diet expert. Like I've done every diet and it's been successful, but it's only short term because it always comes back.
Right. Exactly. So you're saying that you pretty much inherited dieting from your mother, would you say?
Yeah. And I've told my mom that. I'm very honest, and she's said things in front of my kids that she did when I was younger, like, oh, I'm not taking a picture, I don't look good today, or oh, I look so chubby with this sweater on. And I'm just like, don't do that in front of my kids.
Good for you. Fantastic.
Yeah, because it's bad. it's a bad situation to be in, and here I am 38 and I've been dealing with this since I was 15.
Gosh. And so you still get pushback from your mom, who feels that dieting is important still?
Not now, because I'm an adult, not with her, but the way she treated herself reflected me. And they say that. They say, the things that you say to yourself reflect on your children. And it's so true.
That's such a great message. Sarah, that was one of the things I was going to ask you about, raising non-dieting daughters or non-dieting children for that matter, to not even have that culture in your life and influencing them. Can you tell if your daughters are, if outside influences, since even though you're not bringing it into the home, are you seeing them affected? Are they asking about dieting? Are they curious about it? Are they starting to think about it or?
No, I really appreciate my younger daughter because she's going through the prepubescence chub, which we've all had.
Oh yeah.
It's such an awkward time for a girl. And she wears these little crop tops and her belly's kind of hanging out and she just walks around and, and I'm just like, God, I wish I could, I never could do that. And so it makes me proud that she has that confidence. I mean, it might not be super appropriate to wear, but she's like rocking it and she's like comfortable in her body. And I just let her do that,
Excellent. Oh, that's great. I'm so glad to hear that. I'm really glad to hear that. So let's then come back to you and the eating disorders that you've experienced throughout your life. And you said you've done every diet known to man and woman. How did it show itself? What types of eating disorders did you experience?
Okay, for example, I'd go to Weight Watchers, I'd weigh in. They'd be like, oh, you lost 2 pounds. Then I would be across the street at the drive-thru going to Burger King because I was like, oh, I have 7 more days till my next weigh-in.
Oh, that's so awful. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
And that's not healthy and that's not normal. And, it felt shameful. I was like, oh God, I hope nobody sees me.
Oh gosh. Yeah. No, I hear that. So binging, would you call that binging or would you?
Yeah. And the binging and purging, I think I always binged even as a younger child. Like I remember my mom bringing home a box of Gushers. I don't know if you know what Gushers are.
I don't.
It's like a kid fruit snack. It's kind of like a fruit roll up.
Got it. I do know.
And I would eat the whole box when she brought them home, like six of them.
Whoa.
And I was like, I still remember this. I was probably 10, 11. And so, yeah, I think my binging started at a young age. And then it developed into purging at 15. And I had every diet book, every exercise magazine. And then I went off to college and it got really bad. And I ended up getting severely dehydrated. I didn't know I was at the time, but I couldn't stop vomiting.
Right.
And I had to go to the hospital and then I had to tell my mom, what was going on. And she moved me back home because I was in Maine. She moved me back home and I went to treatment and I was in like a group. And it helped. And then I met my ex-husband, we had kids, and I didn't do any of that during that time.
Interesting. None of it, even though you said it was a highly stressful, not a completely happy situation, but you weren't doing it then.
Yeah, it was off and on.
Okay. Oh, okay.
And my ex wasn't very supportive. He said, if I find out you're doing that, I'm going to leave you. So then I kept it secret. But then I was also drinking at the time. I haven't had a drink in 26 months.
Congratulations.
Thanks. So I know that I can overcome this. It's just going to take a lot longer. And I think alcohol and food kind of go hand in hand. They both make you feel good. They're both addictive.
And the alcohol lowers your inhibitions on what you consume as well, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
So can you say, when you did the binging and purging, or when you were maybe doing it more, were there certain emotions attached to doing it?
Nothing being like wrong, like, oh, I'm super stressed today. I think mine is around boredom.
Okay.
It sounds crazy because I have like a business.
I don't find that crazy at all. In fact, that's one of the things and I coach on that, and boredom is a big one. So that's not surprising.
And it's kind of exciting. It's like, all right, what am I going to eat? What am I going to get? You know, and I'll eat all the things that I consider bad. You know, I would never binge on a salad. Like, what's that?
Got it. Okay. Right.
And that's the other thing with diets is like the good and bad label. That really messes you up, you know?
So you went along with the whole, if this food is labeled as bad, then you're a bad person because you've consumed it?
Yeah. And what's the point? Like, we'll just keep going.
Right. I already feel like crap. Yeah. What's more? Okay. Finish the whole box, or then grab another box, or whatever it is. So boredom. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I would live off of the high of tomorrow, and then I would start looking, you know, for what's tomorrow's plan on how am I going to overcome this. And so and I still do that now it's really hard with social media because everybody's doing a certain diet or does this or does that. So you're constantly like researching.
Right.
What are they doing? What can I do? And it's just not good.
So do you, you mentioned boredom. Okay. So what makes you not bored? I mean, what have you turned to in the past that has taken away the boredom that you're feeling when you're doing this?
That's a good question. I feel like it's more of a control in my head. Like, I know I'm not doing that because nothing's really changed in my day-to-day life. It just seems like when I'm on it, for not doing it, I'm on it. And then when I'm off, it's really hard to get back. I had gone a whole year this past January to April, so a little bit over a year of not binging and purging. So I've done it. I've gone over a year without doing it. And then I was getting married and I was feeling the pressure. I just wanted to lose 7 pounds and it's so hard. So I started doing that and I lost the weight and here I am. So April till now, I'm still in the hole.
So, okay. So when you decided to stop, what helped you or what made the difference for you then? Obviously no alcohol. You said that was a huge trigger. But what can you think of things that were different? Like, why then? Why did it?
Yeah, that's a good question. And I think I told you this before, but I got a coach and I was doing that bikini competition.
I forgot about that. Okay. Yes.
I had the pressure from that of like, oh God, now I have to do this and I can't let anybody down. And when I would go to see him, you literally would take all your clothes off except for like your sports bra and your like little shorts on, and you get on this like horse scale and it would spin you around and analyze your whole body.
Okay. Whoa.
And it was part of the training, whatever. And he knew that I had an eating disorder and I went into it having my eating disorder. And I don't know what it was because I was very honest with him. I don't know what it was, but I stopped doing it because he's like, if you keep doing this, you're not going to get where you need to go. So I think I had the pressure of that.
Okay.
It kind of jump-started me to be like, all right, I can't do this. And
okay, so you had the structure and the boredom was taken away because you had a focus on something else.
Yeah. And I really wanted to do it.
Right.
I didn't finish it. I ended up dropping out because my digestive system was all messed up and I was killing myself and I wasn't getting the results. So I did end up stopping, but I also didn't binge or purge for, like I said, over a year.
So you're actually maybe replacing something worse, even worse for your body when you were doing that, possibly having that focus on being that type of body for the bikini.
Yeah, maybe it was hurting me. Actually, it was because here I am.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so you did mention that, as you said, you're still doing it now. You started in April for the wedding. And this is something that anyone else knows about, or is this a complete secret, or how?
Yeah, the only person that knows about it is my therapist.
Okay. And gals with no diet.
Yes. And everybody else on this page.
Yeah. Which for me makes it even more phenomenal that you're willing to share, to help others, that are probably struggling with the same thing. And some of the things that I found reading up a little bit more before we were talking today about eating disorders is that almost anybody who's ever dieted, and even if they're not dieting now, are probably disordered in some way about their eating, because it sets up weird pathways in your brain about what we should and shouldn't be doing, and how we look at food as kind of the enemy, and not as what we need just to feel good and go through life with power and energy and being the best that we could be. So with that in mind, bottom line, so where do you see yourself going from here? I mean, have you thought about that, or what's next steps?
Every day. So the thing that's frustrating with me is that I'm very regimented. Like I work out, I get up and I work out every day, and I clean the house. I'm very structured. But when it comes to this, I start my day off great. I'm like, all right, we're going to do A, B, and C. And then I fall off the wagon. And for me, it's not an all day binge purge. So it's not like I'm completely not eating. I just want to say that. And it seems to be at night, like it's dinner, like dessert. And then it's after that.
Okay.
And then I start the day all over again the next day.
Got it. And the type of therapy, you mentioned you talk with a therapist. What kind of therapy is it?
She's not licensed or trained in eating disorders. I started seeing her after I got divorced 4 years ago. And I had it then, and she knew about it. And then I overcame the drinking. So the thing is, I'm very much aware of what I'm doing. And I honestly think it's all my addictive personality. I don't get the excitement because I don't have drinking anymore. And apparently for me, I found excitement in doing things, substances. So I'm trying to figure out other ways that make me happy that don't include things like that.
So you're trying to shift your focus to something that's enjoyable, that's not in that addictive category.
And I'm not there yet. And I'm very aware of it. And I know all the things I'm doing wrong. And I know eventually I want to, share this with more people. And I hate to say this, but it's fun. It's really, really fun, but then it's not, because it's like you have this high and then you have this crash, kind of like when somebody falls off their diet. They're so happy. They're like, I know this is bad, but this is so good. And then after you crash and you're like, oh God, that was horrible. Why did I do that? And then you refocus your thoughts and you start again the next day. That's kind of where I'm at.
As you said, a constant roller coaster.
What have you come up with that could be an option, another choice that would not be in that addictive category?
Yeah, I still think I'm trying to figure that out. This brings me fulfillment, like talking to you and sharing my story. I've dabbled in my head with that and helping other people with addictions like alcohol, because I've dealt with that too. And I think they go hand in hand.
Excellent. Yeah.
But it's hard for me because I'm still trying to figure out myself. It's kind of like, if you don't know how to love yourself, how can you help others if you don't love yourself first?
And I was coming to that next, in terms of self-care. And as you just said, self-love. And how are you on that spectrum in terms of taking care of you, putting you first?
That's the annoying part. I go to the gym, I get my nails done, I upkeep my body good, but I just cannot fight this demon in my head. And that's probably the biggest thing that I do that's not self-love,
Yeah. And cutting yourself slack. It sounds like you're very hard on yourself.
Yeah. And I also feel like I don't know how to eat, because if I stop binging and purging, which I could, but if I eat normal, I'm like, would I gain back that 7 pounds? And I think learning your body's cues is where I really struggle. I don't know, your body will tell you, okay, you've had enough food, or you're hungry, go eat. I don't have those cues, and that's what I'm really trying to I need to figure that out.
So you've kind of lost confidence and trust in yourself to know what you need. Instead, it's just an automatic after dinner, after dessert, how it's handled. So in terms of gaining that trust back is, well, how do you handle meals with your girls and your husband? What kind of, normal, or what kind of meal planning do you do for the family, or does he do it?
Nope, I do it. It's normal, vegetable, meat, some type of carb. And there's nights we'll have pizza and, not so good things. But the thing that's hard for me is when I know it's going to be my binge purge time, I'll make it more exciting for me. So I'll be like, all right, I'm going to add some garlic bread to the meatballs and pasta tonight. I try to make it more exciting.
Okay.
For myself.
Okay. So when you say more exciting for you, meaning that you get the excitement from actually consuming the food and purging, or is it one or the other? Or
Purging is horrible. Nobody should purge.
Yeah.
It's the binging part that's fun, and then the purging part is awful. I hate it. I dread it every time.
Okay. And as I said, I don't know. I mean, there's no recommendations for eating disorders that I could share, or I don't have the answers. But I'm hoping, as you said, that this starts you in dialogue, and then you go on and help others if that's what you choose, because you certainly have a wealth of knowledge on how it feels from the inside and the experience of it. If you were in front of someone right now who you knew was binging and purging, would you have a message for them, or anything that you think would be helpful to someone?
Oh, that's a hard one, because that's like looking in the mirror, talking to myself.
Right.
If I was talking to somebody and I didn't have this issue, I would say journal, get a therapist, learn how to do things for yourself put yourself first. And I always say, if you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of anybody else.
Excellent. That's such a good message.
And I think that's really hard for a lot of women, especially when they have little kids and they're a stay-at-home mom. And then they think it's selfish, but it's not. And I think digging deep like that, and then making connections with other people like you and other people that are struggling, because there's no answer, and there's no, I've done therapy, and I'm not saying that there's not success rates. I'm sure there is. But for me, it hasn't worked yet. And I know it's mindset, and it's really digging deep into those demons that are in your head. And I think it has a lot to do with traumas in your life, and the way you're brought up, your role models.
So I have two questions then. You mentioned trauma. Is there anything there that you feel comfortable sharing, or is that a kind of a no-go zone?
Oh no, I'll share anything.
So you've had some major trauma?
Yeah. So when I was 10 years old, and my dad sat us down at the table, me and my brother, and he said that he's leaving my mother, and it was for a man. And being 10 years old, I didn't even know what gay was. And there was no boundaries there. There should have been. I didn't need to know that information. And so because of that, I think I was the person that was always trying to fix things after that, or take control of situations.
Okay.
because I had a younger brother. My mom, it was my mom. So I feel like I took a lot of the brunt of trying to make things feel in control when they weren't. And that's basically what eating disorders are. When everything's out of control, you have that control on yourself.
Interesting.
But it's kind of cliche because you don't know how to end the control that's getting you. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right. No, that's interesting. Yes.
So I guess for me, it's a coping mechanism for life. And then, my mom and the comment she made obviously didn't help. But even to this day, I have a lot of insecurities about men. My poor husband, he knows I have triggers and stuff, and we've talked about it. It was very hard for me to not think like, do all men cheat? Do all men leave? And I think for being a girl or a woman or a little girl then, we need our fathers more than boys. And the fact that my father, my male figure, was like gone and was very betraying to us, it definitely affected how I am as a person, and having triggers and coping skill issues. So yeah, I think a lot of that stems back to that.
Yes. And you're, I can certainly see where that would be a huge trigger for control, trying for control when you're so young and you can't control a situation like that. So tell me how journaling comes in and how long you have been doing your journaling.
I've been slacking the last week, but it's really helped. So I also have a lot of anxiety. Shocker. And so I worry about everything, bills, money, where are we going to be? And I've always done it. And I'm in a much better relationship now where I get that response to my insecurities where I didn't before. And I really need that as a person. And so I started journaling and I started writing down all my worries, which I've never done that before. And I've noticed, like, after a few weeks, I start to feel like less worrisome because I feel like writing it kind of
great
puts it to rest. And then I also write down affirmations, like, I will overcome this eating disorder. I am healthy. I will have a good life, kind of just putting it out into the universe.
Fantastic.
And then I also try to write daily goals, and my daily goals usually include don't binge and purge. I haven't got to that method.
Okay. Do you also include like action steps to getting to your goals?
No, and I should. And the thing is, I think my mindset right now is really like, okay, you're dealing with this right now. It sucks. And I'm accepting it right now. And I'm not really trying to change it because I don't feel like I'm there yet.
Okay. Yeah.
There's one key component that I have not done yet religiously, and I really know that it would work. And that is meditation.
You've never tried meditation?
I've done it a few times, but not regularly. So I think if I put it into my daily practice, it would really help with my mindset and just releasing, the stress and anxiety.
Fantastic. Oh, I definitely want an update on that then. If you try meditation, I'd love to hear how that works for you.
Yeah, I made like a little meditation area and I just haven't used it. I'm like, oh, it looks so cute.
Well,
but I haven't tried it yet.
But it's ready.
Yes.
Have you used, who do you meditate with? Or is there a meditation app like Headspace or something that you're looking into? Or how do you?
I have done it. So I've done Calm, which I don't do well with the breathing ones because with the breathing ones, I feel like I can't breathe.
Oh no, that's not good.
I feel like I'm like,
I'm pretty sure that's not what they're going for.
No, and I've heard that can happen. You just have to find which one works for you. So I think there's one, I don't know, I haven't really explored it, but I just got the Peloton bike and they have the meditation, like a section on it.
Oh, I
so
didn't know.
I'm going to look into that.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So this is very cool though. You said, you're getting support from your therapist. You're using journaling. It sounds like in the most positive way possible. You've got your worries, your anxieties that you're jotting down, as well as, your affirmations, which are wonderful. People talk about it, but that you're actually doing it and using it in a wonderful way is fantastic. And then the meditation.
I also forgot that I do gratitude too, and that's huge.
So how do you do that? When and where? Or you write that in your journal as well?
Can I get up real quick to grab it?
Yeah, no, that'd be great.
So I got this on Amazon.
It's got such a nice looking cover. I love it. What's it? I couldn't read it. Okay.
I am thankful for, and you list 3 things, and you just do it daily. And, I've done, like one day I just wrote, it's a sunny day. I'm grateful for that,
Fantastic.
I think that helps a lot too, because when you feel like you're in a really dark place, you just got to take a step back and be like, you know what? Like, I have a dining room table, I have a couch, I have food. And it kind of brings you back to like, okay, you're going to be okay,
So the gratitude helps you calm anxiety, anxious feelings.
Yeah.
And uplifts you.
And I mean, we should be thankful. We all have, really great things going in life. And, as bad as things are right now, you just got to remember the little good things.
But it takes each individual to do the best for themselves and for their community and their families. And if we can all remember that, what you've just said, be grateful, do the best you can, and bring the power, bring the positivity. That's huge. That's wonderful.
Positivity also is a very important thing. And I've realized that as I've gotten older, even if you want to be super negative, positivity is what brings you to that next level, whether it's in your job or in your relationships. I haven't gotten there with the food yet. I'll get there, but it works a lot. It really does. I really hope that this, helps somebody or brings light to their life, or maybe just helps them get on the right path and I can join them.
And again, I admire you so much for sharing, and I know it's going to help others. So that's the best gift you can possibly give. So again, Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
And do send notices. Update me on your meditation. I'll look forward to hearing if that works for you. Or
now I got to start it because now I feel the pressure.
Listen, I'm not going to keep track, but when it happens, let me know. I'd love to hear more.
All right.
Okay. Take care and be in touch. Bye for now. Bye-bye.